When you saw an opportunity, you built a business around it. And every day since, you've kept a sharp eye on ways to evolve and keep your business thriving. It takes courage, creativity, and a clear perspective. At Bremer Bank, we understand that your business is the result of your hard work and ingenuity, and we're here to support you with solutions when you spot an opportunity to grow. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything.
It's time to knock some things off your bucket list. First up, travel the world. If you've always wanted to visit Hong Kong or vacation in the Swiss Alps and wondered what it was like, well, Jeanette, Yvette, and Tina got the scoop for you. These Jet Setting Divas are always at some fun and exotic place experiencing the best of what life has to offer. And each week, they'll tell you all about it. These ladies are always high-flying loads of fun.
Hi, I'm Jeanette.
And I'm Yvette.
And I'm Tina, and we are the Jet Setting Divas. Hey, ladies, what's going on in the world of travel, girl?
What's wrong, Tina? You got this fan going on.
Girl, it's our menopausal time. It's some hot flashes. But you know what, girl, we got to talk about, we be traveling. I'm going to salute us because we travel and we get out and we be walking and we doing all kind of stuff. And we are in a season right now in our life. And sometimes, we get a little overwhelmed and a little hot, a little heated. And, we going through a lot in our life. We
agitated, get a little moody, get a little...
So I'll say for me, I'm not exactly at menopause yet. I'm at the perimenopause stage.
Okay, yes.
It's the phase before menopause, but it can be just as challenging.
Oh, yes.
Very heavy cycles. And I know with traveling, I've had issues with that. And
yes,
just dealing with that while I'm traveling and having to not knowing what's going on with my body and having to try to figure it out. And
yes.
I know you're on a plane and you start on your cycle and then you're trying to
girl,
you could be gushing everywhere and you're trying to deal with it. So there are definitely a lot of things that we have to deal with while we're going through this season of perimenopause and menopause.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, and I had my bout when I was in that period during that time, and we were traveling, and I thought I was in menopause, and then next thing you know, I was out of menopause, and I hadn't had any protection for menstrual cycles in a year, and it's like what? So it's like when you traveling about, just imagine if I was in one of them foreign countries where they didn't use sanitary napkins or things like that, or I may have to go do some special order type stuff. So
I would say this: if you're traveling, just always have your protection with you.
Absolutely.
Whether it's not going to start at that time, just bring it with you. Always have it, in your bag. Always.
Yeah, and I mean, and even just I know Jeanette, you're not there yet, but we I heard that it's harder when you've never had children, but because we've had children going through the menopausal period in our life, we have a lot of things that we just was never told that would be happening, brain fogs and weight gain, weight loss. It's just
stuff like what was I about to do?
But girl.
Like
how many times in the middle I didn't went over there and said I'm going to do something and I just started doing something else.
You done walked over there and you're like, what am I doing?
What did I walk in this room to do? Yes.
Yeah, and you know what? And I wish I had a mom or someone that could have just kind of said, "Girl, get ready." All they would say is, "Girl, I'm going through the change." What was the change? What is the change?
They didn't talk about it.
They didn't talk about it.
Yeah, we're talking about it now on here, but if you have like your mother, your sisters, or they don't talk about it. They don't say anything, and you think everything is gonna be all, fine and peasy or whatever.
Yes.
And then you're going through all of these issues with these mood swings.
One thing that I'll tell you that I did not know, that I heard from someone who went through menopause a few years ago. She told me, she said, as far as the things that you have that happen when you're on your monthly cycle, you may not actually have the monthly cycle, but you'll have all the symptoms. You'll have moodiness, you may have the cramps. And I said, really? Wow, you still have just yes, you still have those things, even though you're not actually you're out of that part of having the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, and even just the mental stuff that you go through when you think about all the stuff our bodies have gone through to have children and raise children, and we gotta birth them, we gotta all the stuff that our body is going through. I went through just a period of time, and I kept thinking something is wrong with me. Something is wrong with me, and it wasn't a depression or it wasn't a. It was just I wasn't the person. I was always the jubilant person. I always wanted everybody to have fun, and we were just gonna have. And it was like, nah. My favorite thing is I ain't the entertainment, and if you having fun, that's on you. If you not, and if you going in there and doing stuff, and I want to go to sleep, I'm going to sleep. So I was never that person, but I have become that person through
Mhm.
the fact that it's like it's about me. It's all about me, and I need to feel better.
So,
So
I will say this: people mix up menopause with like anxiety, stress, depression. Like you be thinking, oh, I'm depressed, I'm stressed. No, if you're a woman, you basically going through menopause. That's
yes,
That's
yes,
exactly.
that's what
And
yes.
it is, and
I'll tell
you
you
really don't know.
another one of the symptoms that I'm seeing a lot now with the perimenopause is that I'm having insomnia. I'm having a hard
Yeah,
Can't
time
sleep.
sleeping. I don't
can't sleep.
sleep. Hmm.
Yeah, but I'm
Can't
telling
sleep.
you that hormone replacement therapy, they said they back in the day, oh, it caused cancer and all this other stuff. But the benefits are if you are replacing your hormones with a substitute like me, I went through a complete and total hysterectomy. So I have depleted every hormone from my body. So I was just feeling that emptiness and everything. So
Mm.
when I going through getting the replacement therapy, which is not what they said, it is more of a helping you to sleep, helping you to deal with your
Okay.
mood, helping you to deal with your weight, helping you to deal with your your anxiety, helping it's just helping me to deal with things that because when you have estrogen and testosterone and what can you say that word
It's
testosterone
testosterone.
And
testosterone
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
progesterone, then when you have that in your body, those hormones are
so,
producing all of the things that your brain does to talk to your body about things. And that's
yeah,
the things that I'm learning is that when your body says you're tired, like Jeanette, you like take those naps, take them naps
I
in
do.
the middle of the day. And if your
I'm
body is
always taking naps, but as I get older, I take even longer naps.
Yeah, and I mean exercise. I used to literally wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and put my clothes on and just go to the gym. Now I have to coach myself. But we gotta walk, we gotta exercise, we gotta get our bodies moving because those are the things that help our, keep us mobile. Because we don't want to have to go through osteoporosis and all these other things and things that happen in older age because we want to keep moving, be flexible, be
right.
stretch, go do some things because those are the things that your body's saying you tired, you don't want to do it, but you got to make yourself go do it.
Yeah. And if you're traveling, these resorts and hotels, they have gyms, they have swimming pools, and plus when you're going on your excursions, you may be doing a lot of
You
walking.
walk him.
So exercise, when you're traveling, you're getting a lot. Whether if you don't even go to the gym in the resort, I'm sure you're getting a lot of exercise because we do a lot of walking
Walking.
around wherever we're going. So just
Yep.
keep up and do it. Always bring you a pair of tennis shoes,
Yes.
leggings, yoga pants, or whatever, so that you can do your exercise. If you want to go to the gym, of course, bring your swimsuit. We know y'all gonna have that because, because if they do have a pool, swimming
Pool.
is actually good. It's good
Mhm.
exercise for
It's
you.
very good
Yes,
exercise.
yes, because
Yes.
that water against you can use those muscles that you may not even be able to use when you're, out of the water. But it definitely, I just say when you're traveling, I think that's a great opportunity to say, I want to get 10,000 steps or count your steps or look at your steps or look at what you're doing, and also what I've noticed is that when you go out and you're gonna be doing a lot of walking, you're not gonna be doing a lot of heavy eating because you want to be able to maneuver and get around. So when you're out and about and you're traveling, you got to think about, hey, you don't have to overindulge. You just go and get a little bit, get a taste of the world that you're experiencing, and just do a little bit at a time, but get that exercise and walk, and do it as often as you can, because when you get to a certain age, I can almost say, I don't know if I can do this at 80. I think I might be doing it at 80, but I don't know if I'll be doing the Vatican again and climbing Machu Picchu. but,
It
but I,
definitely was some exercise.
What I'll say too is that what they're saying about perimenopause and menopause is that if you exercise, it helps your symptoms. If you eat healthy, eat a balanced diet, even one thing that I've been doing a lot lately, of the last week, is I've been fasting a lot. They say those types of things that you do to help yourself will actually help those symptoms.
Yep, and drink a lot of water, lots of
Yes.
water,
Stay
lots and lots of
hydrated.
water, because I think that that's another thing, because that constantly get those toxins out. You're constantly just, getting yourself rejuvenated, and just fresh, clean water is just that's like the best thing. Your body is made of like 30% water anyway, but keep replenishing and keeping yourself super hydrated, because I'm gonna tell you, during this period of my life, I feel more dehydrated than I've ever
I
been in
do
my
too.
life. My mouth always feels cottony and
Mhm.
dry. My skin, water, you need that water for your skin. I've noticed that I'm having little dry spot patches here and there in my skin. But, as long as I keep drinking, and then also take your little tablespoon or two of maybe some olive oil or some MCT oil, the different types of oils to keep your body just kind of very, very lubricated. And
Right.
that might even lubricate the bottom area. I don't know what the sexual drives are, but I think I have heard by watching some of the menopausal shows that that's one of the vaginal dryness and things like that you want to stay lubricated, and you definitely want to ensure that you're getting some type of estrogen in your body to keep the drive going.
Right. All right. And then, at this time, you get moody, you get, things go on or whatever, you have an attitude. I say book a trip.
Book a trip, girl. I'm with you.
It'll get you moving. You got
It does
somewhere to
go, hey,
go.
traveling always makes you feel better.
And you
Yes,
know what?
it
It keeps
does.
your mind mentally stimulated, because you're constantly thinking about what you want to do, where you want to go. You got to think about your plane, your hotel. So you're constantly keeping your mind really, really active too. So I think when we're traveling, I think we stay sharp, because I don't know if there's a correlation, but you keep your mind busy with things, then that kind of removes that memory loss and things that that people experience when they get to older ages. So definitely, it keeps you intact, and you're constantly talking about what you're doing, and you're looking and you're researching and you're reading and things like that. And I think that really helps your mind.
Yeah.
Travel may be the medicine for menopause.
Hey,
Right.
hey, hey, I'm with it.
Hey. Yep. That's why we travel so much.
There you go. Traveling while on menopausal. Hey, that's the way. That's the thing. The menopausal times. That's what we do.
Well, ladies, I think we've had a great discussion about how you travel during this stage of our lives, during perimenopause and menopause. And we've given our listeners many things to think about. Well, I'm
Yes.
Jeanette.
And I'm Yvette.
And I'm Tina, and we are the Jet Setting Divas.
Tune in next Thursday when the Jet Setting Divas will tell you about another fun destination spot that you'll want to visit. For more on their excursions, log on to ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
What's up, everyone? It's Shaletta. I'm here getting a phone for one of my newly minted teenagers with Xfinity Mobile. They've got great options, affordable plans, and solid coverage that works for our whole family. With Xfinity Mobile, my daughter can stay connected with me wherever she goes. And did you know when you sign up, you can get an extra phone line free for a full year? Switch to Xfinity Mobile today for more savings, more smiles, and more ways to stay connected.